Opportunity doesn't knock. That's the first lie they told you. It doesn't wait outside your door like a polite guest, tapping gently until you answer. It doesn't call you on the phone to let you know it's nearby. It doesn't drop a letter in your mailbox saying, "I'm on the way." No opportunity hides. It disguises itself as effort. It cloaks itself in discipline. It buries itself beneath the rubble of ordinary days and whispers only to those who are willing to search. If you've been sitting back, waiting for the right moment, the right person, the right idea to fall into your lap, let me be the voice that shatters that illusion once and for all. No one is coming to save you. No opportunity is waiting in the wings. You are not a lottery ticket. You are a builder. And the life you dream of does not belong to the passive. It belongs to the relentless, to the awake, to those who stop looking at the clock and start looking into the mirror. The ones who rise in this world are not those who wait, but those who watch. Watch for patterns, watch for problems, watch for possibilities that others are too busy scrolling to see. They are the ones who see value where others see inconvenience. They are the ones who turn closed doors into blueprints and silence into strategy. Because here's the raw truth. Opportunity is everywhere, but only visible to those who have trained their eyes to see. Your mind is either your telescope or your blindfold. It either expands your vision or shrinks it. And most people live like opportunity is something out there, something they'll stumble into someday if they just stay positive enough. But positivity without purpose is just a sedative. What you need is not more motivation. What you need is a searchlight, a system, a spirit of initiative, and the willingness to wake up and say, if it's to be, it's up to me. Opportunity doesn't visit the lazy. It doesn't favor the distracted. It doesn't deliver to those who complain, procrastinate, or pass the time in comfort. It shows up in disguise, as a problem to solve, as a skill to learn, as a challenge that everyone else runs from. And if you don't train yourself to pursue it with hunger, to dig for it like treasure, to stretch beyond convenience, then it will pass by you and land in the hands of the willing. You don't wait for opportunity. You develop into the person who deserves it. You become sharper, louder in your execution, quieter in your excuses. You become a magnet for results, not by asking, "What should I do?" but by declaring, "Here's what I'm becoming." You see, the reason opportunity feels absent isn't because it doesn't exist. It's because you haven't yet become the version of yourself who can see it. It's not hiding from the world, it's hiding from the you who's stuck in hesitation. Opportunity is only visible to the eyes that are ready. It's not a question of time. It's a question of who you're becoming while you wait. So let's talk about who you need to become. Let's talk about attitude, not the surface level, be happy garbage that floats around in bite-sized quotes, but the deep inner posture that determines whether you hunt for the future or hide from it. Attitude isn't a smile. It's a decision. It's the invisible engine that runs your response to adversity. It's how you interpret your pain, how you handle rejection, how you speak when no one's listening. Your attitude is not determined by what happens to you, it is revealed by what happens to you. And the strongest among us have decided in advance that no matter what comes, they will not fold, flinch, or fade away. They've trained their mind like a warrior trains their body. They don't wish for ease, they prepare for resistance. And when life throws detours, they don't panic. They pivot. That's attitude. That's the posture of someone who will not miss opportunity because their emotional state is dependent on perfect circumstances. If your attitude can be broken by a bad day, an unfollow, a missed sale, or a critical comment, then you have not yet built the kind of posture required to see, seize, and scale opportunity. The right attitude doesn't just keep you standing, it makes you magnetic. People feel it. Opportunities are drawn to it, not because of magic, but because of certainty. And certainty is built, not borrowed. But attitude alone is not enough. Let's go deeper. Let's talk about how you speak, not just to others, but to yourself. Because communication is not a talent, it is a mirror. It reflects how clear you are about what you want, who you are, and what you believe you deserve. Most people don't miss opportunity because it isn't there. They miss it because they can't communicate their value when it arrives. You have to speak with clarity, with fire, with precision, not volume conviction. You must learn to communicate not just what you do, but what you solve. You must learn to talk to people's pain, not your product. You must learn to articulate value, because in business and in life, the clearest voice wins. The clearest vision gets funded. The clearest message gets shared. The clearest offer gets bought. And don't think communication is only about others. No, the most dangerous conversation you'll ever have is the one happening in your head. That voice that says, you're too late. That whisper that says, you're not ready. That noise that repeats, you've failed before. You must confront that voice. Not with false positivity, but with evidence, with movement, with a new pattern. Because when your internal communication is poisoned, no external opportunity can survive. So we've covered attitude. We've carved into communication. Now let's grip the real lever of greatness: discipline. Self-discipline is not restrictive. It is the purest form of self-respect. It is how you tell the world and your future, I am trustworthy. And hear me, the universe does not give its deepest rewards to the occasional. It gives them to the predictable, the ones who show up, the ones who execute, the ones who move without being moved emotionally. You can't live by how you feel and expect to see what you dream. Discipline is the bridge between vision and results. It's what converts talent into skill, hope into action, knowledge into mastery. It's what separates the ones who talk about goals from the ones who achieve them in silence. Discipline looks like boundaries, like non-negotiables, like building while others party, like reading when others scroll, like keeping your word even when your emotions have shifted. And every time you choose discipline, you tell your future, I'm coming for you and I mean it. But all of this means nothing if your mind isn't strong enough to carry it, because your mindset is the gatekeeper. If your mind is weak, opportunity will look like risk, growth will look like danger, progress will feel like pressure, and you will run from the very thing you were born to do. That's why mindset isn't optional. It's oxygen. You need a mind that filters fear, that processes failure as feedback, that understands rejection is simply redirection. You need a mind that is prepared for the long game, not for applause, not for instant validation, but for long-term significance. A mind that isn't addicted to dopamine, but devoted to discipline. And you build that mind not through comfort, but through confrontation. You face the lies. You audit your beliefs. You challenge your assumptions. You stretch until your comfort zone screams, and then you keep walking. Because on the other side of that threshold is opportunity, not the kind that falls into your lap, the kind you earned, the kind you saw because you built the eyes to see it. And the final thread that ties this all together, the reason opportunity finally says yes to you, is value. Not what you think is valuable, what is actually valuable to others, to the world, to the market. You don't get rich by working hard. You get rich by becoming valuable and making sure the right people know it. You become valuable when you solve problems better than anyone else, when you care more, when you listen deeper, when you produce not just products but transformations. That is what opportunity looks for. It looks for utility, for leverage, for those who have become so useful, so excellent, so undeniable, that silence becomes impossible. That is how you attract the life you want. You don't chase it. You build yourself into the kind of person it cannot ignore. Don't misunderstand this. Opportunity is not the beginning. You are. You are the origin point. You are the deciding factor. If you want your world to change, you must change first. This is not just motivational language, it's the universal law of transformation. Nothing around you shifts until something within you shifts. Not your career, not your income, not your relationships. You are the thermostat of your life. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. And what you are is revealed not by what you say, but by what you tolerate. You want opportunity to show up? Then raise your standard. Stop tolerating distraction. Stop tolerating excuses wrapped in logic. Stop tolerating emotional outbursts disguised as honesty. Every time you justify a lower version of yourself, you are pushing opportunity out the door. Because the life you want is at a higher frequency than the one you're living. And to rise, you must shed, not accumulate. You must strip away every behavior, every habit, every belief that anchors you to the shallow waters of average. Opportunity doesn't exist where clutter lives. It can't breathe in confusion. It won't thrive in environments poisoned by bitterness, envy, and entitlement. It grows where clarity reigns, where direction has been chosen, where purpose is planted and watered daily. The kind of opportunity that changes your life doesn't show up by luck. It shows up when you've cultivated enough discipline to sustain it. Because here's the hard truth, most people don't miss opportunity because it wasn't available. They missed it because they weren't ready to hold it. You think the universe will give you abundance while you still can't manage your morning routine? You think it'll bless you with influence when you can't manage your mood? You want thousands of people to listen to your voice, yet you still speak to yourself like a critic instead of a coach? Number. The gate won't open until you evolve into someone worthy of walking through it. And that's not punishment, that's preparation. Don't pray for the opportunity, prepare for it. Don't manifest the result. Mature into the person who makes it real. Because opportunity is a mirror, not a gift. It reflects your readiness. It multiplies what you already are. It reveals who's been doing the quiet work in the dark. You want the spotlight? Then train in the shadows. You want the reward? Then love the repetition. You want the breakthrough? Then master the boring. That's where most quit. In the boring. In the consistent. In the spaces where no one's watching and no one's clapping. But that's the forge. That's where giants are built. That's where your character hardens and your confidence becomes earned, not imagined. And when opportunity finally appears, it won't be dressed as comfort. It will look like a challenge. It will look like hard work, risk, decision, and faith. And if you're not trained to see past the difficulty, you'll let it slip right through your fingers. You see, every problem is an opportunity in work clothes. Every pain point is an entry point. But to see it that way, you need vision. Not eyesight vision. The ability to look at a closed door and build your own hinges. The ability to hear no and let it train your resolve instead of puncture your will. Vision is the lens through which the extraordinary is born from the ordinary. Vision is how you look at your current bank account and see not limitation but leverage. Vision is how you look at your broken past and see unrepeatable advantage. Most people look at their story and see damage. Builders look at their story and see evidence. Evidence of resilience, of survival, of lessons learned the hard way. They turn their shame into service, their scars into symbols, their pain into platforms. And the moment you make peace with your story and own it, opportunity stops running from you and starts circling around you, waiting for a signal. But opportunity does not answer weakness. It does not respond to victimhood. It does not show up when you're scrolling, comparing, complaining, and blaming. It shows up when you work, when you think, when you speak with clarity, move with decisiveness, and carry yourself with the posture of someone who's already committed to the outcome. And commitment, let's talk about that. Because most people don't have commitment, they have interest. And interest fades. Interest shows up when it's convenient. Commitment remains when it's hard, lonely, boring, painful, and slow. Commitment doesn't negotiate with feelings. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't stall when the applause dies. Commitment keeps building, brick by invisible brick, trusting that every act of excellence compounds even when the world isn't watching. You want to find opportunity? Then build momentum. Not motivation momentum. You don't need to feel good to act. You need to act to feel good. Momentum is the secret that average minds ignore. They wait to feel ready. High performers move anyway. They start small, but they start strong. And every small, consistent act of progress becomes a magnet for breakthrough. You don't chase the big moment, you become so faithful in the little moments that the big ones can't help but arrive. It's not about luck, it's about alignment. When your mindset aligns with your behavior, when your speech aligns with your vision, when your energy aligns with your action, the world responds. People take notice. Doors open. Networks form. Strategies click. Not because you were lucky, but because you were prepared. You had your hand on the door before it opened. Let me speak directly to the dreamer inside you. The one you've buried under distractions and self-doubt. Wake that part up. Shake the dust off. Remember who you were before the world convinced you to shrink. Remember the clarity you felt when you first said, "I was made for more." That clarity didn't die. It's just waiting for your discipline to catch up to your desire. It's waiting for you to stop living as if you have infinite time. Because you don't get forever. You get now. You get this day, this breath, this season. So the question isn't, will opportunity come? It's, will I be ready when it does? Or better yet, will I create it before anyone else sees it? The builders of the future are not waiting for perfect moments. They are engineering them. While the world is still asking, is this the right time? They've already shipped the product, sent the email, made the call, said yes to the discomfort. They don't need motivation because they made a vow to themselves that they would no longer betray their potential for the comfort of procrastination. That vow, that level of inner certainty, it cannot be taught in courses or found in books. It must be chosen. It must be declared. You must decide, I will not miss my life while waiting for signs. Because the sign you're waiting for is you. You are the signal. You are the opportunity maker. You are the permission granter. You are the strategy. You are the spark. Everything you need is already in the room. You just haven't become the version of yourself that can see it, touch it, and build it. So build. Start now. Even if it's messy. Even if you're uncertain. Even if it feels small. Start. Because momentum respects the courageous. And opportunity bows to the prepared. You don't need perfect timing. You need perfect focus. You don't need a sign from the sky. You need strategy in your bones. Because, let's be honest, if opportunity knocked on your door today, in full glory, dressed in gold, whispering, here I am, would you even recognize it? Or would you let it slip through your fingers while waiting for a more convenient version of it? You see, we often imagine opportunity as something obvious, something loud, something that comes with fireworks and fanfare. But in truth, opportunity shows up camouflaged. It looks like extra hours. It looks like unpaid work. It looks like rejection, asking you if you're still serious. It looks like a problem no one wants to solve. It looks like silence from the audience while you still show up and give everything anyway. Because real opportunity is not a stage, it's a furnace. It's the place where your commitment is tested, your character is revealed, and your preparation is exposed. Opportunity comes not to comfort, but to confront. And that's why most people miss it, because they only see it when it's easy. But when it's disguised in sweat, struggle, and silence, they walk right past it. That's why you must train your eyes. You must rewire your senses. Because opportunity doesn't respond to emotions. It responds to excellence, to awareness, to movement, to patterns. And if you want to make sure you never miss it again, you need to become a person of readiness. The kind of person who doesn't wait for proof before taking a step. The kind of person who builds before the demand. The kind of person who doesn't ask, is this worth it? But declares, I will make this worth something. That's the difference between those who live life chasing and those who live life crafting. Chasers wait for conditions to be favorable. Crafters build in the dark. They design the stage before the show is booked. They polish the sword before the battle is announced. They don't ask the world for confirmation. They create so powerfully that confirmation has to follow. And here's what most don't realize. Your big break doesn't show up in public. It starts in private. It starts in the way you show up when nobody's watching. It starts in the way you respect your time even when the world doesn't yet. It starts in the tiny details, the unseen disciplines, the late nights, the early mornings, the no when you could have said yes, the yes when fear begged you to say no. That's where momentum is built. That's where identity is formed. And that's where opportunity begins to notice you. Because opportunity is watching. Always. Waiting to see who can be trusted. Waiting to see who doesn't just want the crown, but is willing to carry the weight of it. And make no mistake, it is a weight. It's the weight of responsibility, of vision, of execution, of sacrifice. You think opportunity is a reward, but it's a test. It doesn't ask, do you want more? It asks, can you carry more? And to carry more, you must become more. You must outgrow your excuses, outgrow your comfort zone, outgrow the lies you inherited that you're not good enough, not smart enough, not ready, not capable. Burn them, replace them with action. Because the only thing standing between you and the opportunity of a lifetime is the story you keep telling yourself about why you haven't earned it. So change the story. Reclaim the pen. Write a new page. Not next week, not next month, today. And it doesn't need to be dramatic. It needs to be consistent. Consistency is the altar where momentum is born. And the moment you commit to it truly, silently, ruthlessly, the world shifts. Because now you're moving different. You're not just working, you're building. You're not just posting, you're positioning. You're not just hoping, you're shaping. And suddenly, opportunity begins to take notice. Not because you're lucky, but because you've become a person of substance. That's what the world is starving for. Not another flash in the pan. Not another hype-filled charade. The world is aching for people of weight. People who are steady when it's storming. People who can be trusted to do excellent work not for applause but for alignment. People who live in such a way that when opportunity enters the room, it feels like it already belongs there because you built the room. That is what this journey is about. It's not about shortcuts. It's about foundations, because the house built fast and loud will crumble just as quickly. But the one built slowly, carefully, brick by painful brick, that house becomes a fortress. And opportunity lives in fortresses. It lives in places of discipline, vision, and conviction. So ask yourself right now, have I built a life where opportunity would want to live? Would opportunity feel safe in your hands? Or would it feel wasted? Would it feel honored? Or would it feel used and tossed aside the moment it required effort? That question is not meant to shame you. It's meant to wake you. Because your life is not a game. This is not practice. This is not rehearsal. You don't get to rewind. You don't get to ask for more time. What you have is now. This moment. These choices. These habits. And the more you delay, the more you forfeit. Not just income, impact, not just results, respect for yourself. You're not waiting for opportunity. Opportunity is waiting for you. It's been circling, watching, waiting for the moment you rise. Not with a speech, but with action. Not with promises, but with consistency. Not with noise, but with clarity. So rise. Do the work others ignore. Speak with the clarity others are afraid to find. Move with the conviction others haven't earned. And don't ask the world to give you a stage-build one. Out of bricks made from sweat, discipline, focus, and fire. And when you do, when you finally become the person opportunity was looking for all along, it won't just knock. It will break down the door. And you will be ready. You've heard the truth. You've felt it settle in your bones. But now, what will you do with it? Because information is cheap. Everyone has access. Everyone has quotes on their wall, books on their shelf, voices in their ears. But knowledge without execution is just another distraction dressed up as progress. And if you don't act, this moment becomes nothing more than a temporary high, a spark that never becomes flame. This is the threshold. This is the line where the average go back to comfort and the committed step forward into fire. And I'm asking you not gently but directly, which one are you? Because life will not wait for you to decide. While you hesitate, someone else is moving. While you plan, someone else is executing. While you debate if it's worth it, someone else is proving that it is. And understand this, opportunity respects urgency, not desperation, urgency. The kind of urgency that says, I will not let another year pass while I'm half alive. The kind of urgency that says, I will not let another door close while I sit here making excuses dressed as logic. The kind of urgency that says, if I don't see the way, I will make the way. Because the ones who change their lives and the lives of others are the ones who move before they feel ready, who act without certainty, who bet on themselves even when they're scared, especially when they're scared. Not because they're fearless, but because they've decided that staying stuck is more terrifying than failing forward. So go. Go. Not because the road is easy, but because it's yours. Go, not because you have all the answers, but because you finally stopped waiting for permission. Go, not because the fear is gone, but because the fire inside you finally outweighs the fear. Go build, go become. Go search for the opportunity everyone else overlooks. It's there not in the spotlight, but in the shadows. Not in the perfect moment, but in the present moment, right here, right now. Go be the person who lives so boldly, so intentionally, so fully that opportunity doesn't need to knock. It finds you already at the door. It finds you ready. It finds you moving. It finds you alive. Because now, you're not waiting for opportunity. You are the opportunity. And the world is ready for you. Now go.